I've always been fascinated by speedrunning. I assume it's a similar feeling that a NASCAR fan gets, watching professionals do something you do every day, something that seems so incredibly simple as making the same 4 turns, but at speeds you could never imagine to attain. However, I've never personally felt like there is a game that I'd be good enough to speedrun until I learned that Team Fortress 2 has speedruns. For the first time, I truly feel like putting my mark on speedrun.com. The runs seem very attainable, yet barely anyone has tried running the game itself. But before I start making runs of my own,
no, the time loss,
I want to go back to where it all started. Team Fortress 2's speedrun.com page started in 2015 and primarily focused on TF2's training mode, where players would compete to finish all of the training as fast as possible. For the purpose of this video, I won't be talking about the much crazier rocket jump map speedruns. While these community maps are epic and the runs are super cool to watch, they also are harder to keep track of and don't appear on speedrun.com. The earliest runs in the scriptless training mode category sat around 10 minutes 30 seconds. As context, when I went through the training just trying it out, it took me 16 minutes to complete. TF2's training is separated into 4 different classes, which means runners have to understand the mechanics of the soldier, demo, spy, and engineer, respectively. While none of this is exactly complicated, seconds of time can be the difference between first and second place. Even so, compared to today's time, 10 minutes 30 seconds is barely the tip of the iceberg. Today's record sits at 9 minutes 53 seconds and hasn't been contested for over a year. The current world record holder, Samoy Flo, says that any major improvement at this time would be entirely RNG based, as they nearly perfectly input any tech in the run. But what kind of tech are these runners using that has allowed them to save over 30 seconds? Comparing the I Will Remember You run with Samoy Flo's run, soldier training has been memorized rather than reaction-based. Keyboard navigation has been used to actually make it faster to go into training than using a mouse. Prepping stickies ahead of time for the various trainings in the demo mission. Holding mouse 1 during engineer upgrades rather than it being reaction-based. And killing red bots as they spawn during the engineer training. The time saved by these small techs and adjustments allows Samoy Flo to finish the entire spy training before I Will Remember You even starts. However, these times are nothing compared to the scripted category, so if near perfect plays shave off 30 seconds from original runs, scripting must only be around the 9-minute mark at max, right? Wrong. 1 minute 12 seconds. I'd act like I know what's going on here, but I truly have no clue. We start with pure chaos, followed by some distilled madness, and then suddenly we're medic on Dust Bowl, where we find it's a 3v12 match. What? I don't even understand. I tried finding some information on how any of this works, however, I could only find mention that Saggers was going to make a video about it, and from what I can tell, never did. Brahms, one of the TF2 speedrun moderators, did seemingly find a glitch and explain it in his 2017 run. However, I'm still not sure I fully understand what the Destroy 4 building trick is, other than a weird rabbit hole that is a great idea for a potential other video. While the training mode runs are unique, and definitely the scripted category is crazy and insane, it just doesn't feel the same as TF2. TF2 is about capturing points, killing enemies, and doing some real damage, and the training just doesn't have that. However, 1 year ago, speedrunning changed in TF2. The TF speedrunning team added verse bot matches. Now, players can have a traditional TF2 experience and speedrun at the same time. The rules are simple. Verse bot on the traditional bot training maps, hard difficulty, scriptless. These level runs consist of the 12 training maps on both blue and red team, including on King of the Hill maps, which I get are the exact same. While on the red team, there is always a theoretical minimum time players can get, blue team is much more about how fast you can get to the point, how quickly you can cap, and whether the bots are cooperating with you. What strategies are players using to save time? Well, you see, that's the thing. This category is so new, a majority of the levels have barely 3 runs on them. Multiple of the winning runs also state that their times are by no means unbeatable, which is exactly why I want to try speedrunning them for myself. The first map I tried was Nucleus. Its time was short, but I thought I could at least get within the ballpark. I also chose Nucleus in particular because I noticed that in the world record runs, players often got to the point delayed compared to when I would attempt it. So how well can I do with no practice and minimum speedrunning knowledge? Oh boy.
No one has tried getting to the point like early
And that was one thing I wondered if I could actually do. Technically, I have 8 extra seconds right now. But so half the bots like fly off. I wanted to see... Oh no, you cannot stand there. Okay. And now this time I know not to off rip, like, go for the hop. Control point is not enabled yet. Control point is enabled! Okay, we're actually restarting. Okay. Let's try from right here. Beautiful, beautiful. No! It was such a good start, too. I actually wonder if that means I start as Scout. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Oh, I fucked it up. I am actually going mad at this point. Oh my goodness. What even... So that's the thing, is like I want to keep like trying, because I know if I just got to the point... Okay, legitimately last copium restart.
Look, clearly I have no clue what I'm doing, but if I'm going to get a world record in TF2, I'm going to need to change my strategy. After the failure that was those attempts, it's probably time I do a little bit of a deeper dive into speedrunning TF2. Taking a deep look at Nucleus specifically, I can get a lot of insights on how to get a faster time. The Nucleus world record uses the Scottish resistance to place multiple stickies throughout the map, mainly on the point. The second place run uses stock sticky and a very similar loadout. I feel like both of these strategies are great, but could be improved. You see, it's just as much about what isn't shown as what is. Notice how both runs use the stock melee. That right there is a time loss. I could save 10 seconds on the capture point time using the pain train, which would be a major improvement. I could also get to the point sooner as long as I can make the jump timing. This would give me the ability to shave additional time off the record. The best thing about this category being young is that runs are always evolving. While writing this script, runner Waddy got a staggering 222 on Blue Gorge CP. The strategy? He used the pain train. He just also seemed like a really skilled runner and player though. However, like anything, I can't just come up with a theory of how to run the game. I need to actually put this pain train theory into practice. Before I get into my Nucleus speedrun, it's time I speedrun a sponsor segment. This video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Your support, whether it be comments, likes, or subscribing, means a lot. Of special thanks to Mr. Solid, who graciously donated during my last video. If you want to support me physically, I have a Ko-Fi and have super thanks enabled on my videos. With our sponsor out of the way and my chance of paying rent this month increased, it's time to get back to Nucleus. While I'm not great at TF2 in general, my main hope is that with a little luck, I can manage a time slightly faster than previous runners. I started out with a simple loadout: pain train for faster cap, Scottish resistance for better map control, and stock pipes. If I can get to the point before the bots and just cap, damn it. Everything I had planned exploded in my face right off the start. Oh, but the bots. The bots are capping. I could be one of the luckiest runners in the world. The bots are cooperating. I like to imagine making an entire video about the TF bots increases my chances, but it's hard to say. With the bots helping me and a quick swap to the Iron Bomber, just maybe I can keep the red team from capping. The timer is so incredibly close. It's not first by any means, but top 3 is amazing. Even though there were a lot of mess ups, I still think my time was solid. Besides, no one has ran the game in a while but me.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device.
Oh, come on. Are you serious? The nature of the game in speedrunning is change. Strategies adapt, players will come and go, and runs, sadly, will inevitably get knocked out. It's the constant flow that makes speedrunning so captivating to me. For TF2 speedruns, that change is just beginning. I mentioned that in the grand scheme of Team Fortress 2, the verse bot runs are relatively new. People are still making progress on perfect runs, and there's still a lot of room for growth. Many of the current top runs in versus bots use stock weapons. Experimenting with things like the paint train allows players to get faster cap speeds. Adding the sticky jumper might allow people to cap faster by getting to the point before bots even make it there. If you've made it this far in the video, you're clearly interested, or at least semi-interested, in TF2 speedruns, and I'd recommend you try it for yourself. Go to speedrun.com/TF2, see if there's a map that you want to run, and try it. While the verse bot runs are interesting, I'm equally interested to see what other categories may exist in the future of TF2 speedrunning. Suddenly Bear SSS suggested an MVM engineer rollout category, which sounds less cool than it actually looks. Engineer rollouts are a really big part of engineer in general, and it would be fun to see upward and bad water rollouts as well. Even rollouts for soldier and demo blasting from red spawn to the first cap would be a fun category and resemble rocket jumping speedruns. Wadi, the runner who took 3rd place from me, mentions a really great point about the moderation nightmare that is engineer rollouts. Having to set a location with a sentry, dispenser, and teleporters on each map would be a lot of front-end work, and then verifying that those runners actually used those spots would be a headache to say the least. However, it's the discussions about what future categories could look like that really fascinates me. 5 years ago, people probably thought the same thing about doing runs against bots, and now look where we are. There are so many niche aspects of TF2 that could make for a really fun but short speedrun. Loadout speedruns, crafting speedruns, heck, intel capture speedruns. While the first 2 are just silly ideas I came up with, the 3rd is actually a viable and real run that people have tried. While it isn't a category on speedrun.com, the way players are running 2 fort intel cap runs feels moderated. Samoy Flow, the world record holder for training mode, has a sub 31 second run, and is the fastest I've currently seen and utilizes an in-depth setup process. I first saw this engineer to demo night setup on Zio's 32-second run, which Samoy Flow barely beat out. A category like this is really interesting for a number of reasons, but the setup of engineer buildings as well as utilizing the metal from destroyed buildings is really cool to me. I'd love to see runners try other capture the flag maps like Landfall, which is a lot more open areas and could really lend itself to show off some cool rocket or sticky jumps. There's probably dozens more categories that could exist. It's really just finding players interested in it. I'll be attempting more speedruns on my 2nd channel, or possibly live on Twitch, and I'm going to suggest intel cap runs be added to the speedrun site. If you liked the video, give this a like. If you want to see more videos from me, subscribe. I'd recommend checking out my video about TF2's training bots, or check out why I think TF2 and Deadlock are super similar. Bye for now.